It's a big snub to Pakistan over its attempt to internationalize the Kashmir issue. Its bid to bring international focus on the Kashmir crisis has failed. The United Nations has reportedly ignored its bid to seek intervention in the matter. The world body has said that India and Pakistan need to resolve these issues through dialogue to find a long-term solution. Sartaj Aziz, advisor to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on national security and foreign affairs, had written to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on the recent border tension with India and sought a UN intervention. Let's get a word from Smita Sharma, who's getting us this breaking story this morning. Smita, a huge snap for Pakistan.
Absolutely, Simi, and I must mention here that this is a long expected line, in fact, as far as India is concerned, because we've seen it in the past, also over the last few years, that every time Pakistan has tried dragging the Kashmir issue to the UN or to the international world bodies, in fact, there's not been really a response as such from the other side. This is a continuous effort. If you remember Nawaz Sharif during the recent UNGA also, when Mr. Narendra Modi was also there, he of course addressed that UNGA session as well. It was his debut address. But he gave a very guarded response in a way to the way Mr. Nawaz Sharif had raised that issue. After that, we also saw Sartaj Aziz write that letter to the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. And now, of course, we have heard these comments come in from the Secretary General's office, where they, of course, have expressed their concerns about the continuous escalation and violence at the line of control. But I've also asked India and Pakistan to really go back to the dialogue table and resolve the issues bilaterally. This is not the first time that it has been happening, but it's also been seen that every time Pakistan goes into an inner turmoil, somewhere there is that attempt in trying to make Kashmir the glue factor in diverting attention.
Smita, stay on with us. Let's also get a word from Gaurav Sawant, who's with us on the phone line. Gaurav, this snap from the UN literally coinciding with Pakistan once again violating ceasefire.
Pakistan's violation of the ceasefire is to be seen in the light of raising these issues, raising the Kashmir issue in international fora. When the US senators were in Pakistan, there was a violation of ceasefire. When Nawaz Sharif raised it in the UN, there was a violation of ceasefire. When Sartaj Aziz wrote to Ban Ki-moon, there was a series of violations of the ceasefire. So Pakistan is desperately trying to rake up the Kashmir bogey in international fora. But there is no way that the international community will intervene post the Simla Agreement of 1972. Also the Lahore Declaration. No international body has any role to play in sorting out the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, which has to be sorted out bilaterally in a terror and violence-free environment. And that is Pakistan's responsibility now, to create a terror-free, a violence-free environment, which it hasn't been doing. Until that happens, government of India has made it very clear, whatever happens at the line of control will be sorted out by the army and the BSF. Rest, talking to Pakistan, will depend on peace at the line of control and, of course, a terror-free environment.
Gaurav, stay on with us. We're also being joined by Hamza Amir on the phone line from Islamabad. Hamza, a huge setback and almost an embarrassment for the Nawaz Sharif government, which had sought a UN intervention on the Kashmir issue after that escalation that we saw along the border.
Well, yes, in fact, this is what Pakistan actually has been trying to do for long. Even if you see the letter that Sartaj Aziz wrote to Ban Ki-moon, it has been actually, said that Pakistan has been reminding the United Nations that they want them to actually intervene into the Kashmir issue. And now they're also talking to at least 5 influential countries more. That means that the SAARC countries are actually going to be spoken to. Their meetings already have started in Pakistan on the diplomatic channel. So Pakistan is actually trying their best, not only to push the United Nations into it, but also to have more foreign pressure coming on to India. But obviously the response from the United Nations has been very clear, and I think it will be a disappointment for Pakistan that whatever it actually was trying to do for foreign intervention has not actually worked out. So they will have to do another strategy to actually tackle what they believe is going to work as far as foreign pressure on India is concerned on Kashmir.
Right, Hamza, stay on with us. I'd like to bring Smita back into the discussion. Smita, Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif also reportedly raised the Kashmir issue with a group of visiting US senators yesterday.
Absolutely. In fact, that was something that Gaurav was also reporting on earlier. Now, Simi, we must realize that if we look at Mr. Nawaz Sharif's position in the country right now, He had the likes of Imran Khan, the PTI out on the roads, Tahirul Qadri and his supporters out on the streets asking for his resignation. His position has been considerably, in fact, undermined over the last few weeks or the last 1 month. There are also reports, because we must remember that the UN really does not take too many independent decisions unless there is a strong influence by countries like America. We also hear reports that, in fact, the civilian aid extended to Pakistan under the Kerry-Lugar bill might actually not be extended further. So these are troubling times for Mr. Nawaz Sharif, who's now forced to share space, in fact, with the Pakistan army, which has always been considered his nemesis for a very long time. But under these circumstances, the best possible option for a Pakistan government would be to try and divert attention by bringing in the Kashmir issue again, by trying to internationalize the issue. But India has taken a maximalist position when it called off those talks between the foreign secretaries of the two countries. Remember, it drew that red line over the the Pakistani envoy here, Mr. Abdul Basit, talking to the Hurriyat leaders. So climbing down from the maximalist position is not something that India is looking at currently, especially at a time when assembly elections are also on, and when the ceasefire violations really haven't stopped at the LOC. So it's a bad timing for the Pakistan to actually try and take this issue to the UN, and the snub that has come in definitely adds to its embarrassment.
Absolutely. And Gaurav, we've been reporting that unprovoked firing has been reported from Pakistani side in Poonch sector of Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier, we'd reported how the Home Ministry had directed the BSF to not initiate fire if Pakistan doesn't violate ceasefire. What's the message going out from the centre now?
The message very clearly is that terror and talks cannot happen simultaneously. If Pakistan wants talks with India, it needs to understand there's a new government in place and there's a new template in place. And this new template is you talk to Government of India, you do not talk to anyone else. Government of India has made that very clear. As per Simla agreement, India and Pakistan talk. Pakistan does not talk to Hurriyat. Hurriyat is not a stakeholder in India-Pakistan talks. If Pakistan does not understand that, then it's good for Pakistan. It needs to realize if it wants to move forward. The second big takeaway is, and according to my sources in Government of India, that as far as SAARC countries are concerned, it is a big SAARC summit in Kathmandu in November, and India intends to make a big push for SAARC countries. Pakistan can either abandon terror and join in, or Pakistan can be left behind, because India has realized Pakistan is a minor irritant in the bigger scheme of things as far as development in this region is concerned. Development cannot happen if there is terror. So India has taken a position that let's move forward economically. It's in Pakistan's interest to join in, and if Pakistan wants to join in, it has to abandon terror.
Absolutely. Hamza Amir is also with us on the phone line from Islamabad. Hamza, experts had been saying that the reason why Pakistan had escalated tensions along the LOC and the international border is because it wanted to shift focus away from domestic issues. How is the Pakistani media reporting this snub that the Nawaz Sharif government has received from the UN?
Well, Pakistan actually is reporting upside down. They actually talk about Indian provocation being initiated first, going along the line of control, talking to people, showing martyr shells from India. And they say that this is them who actually gifted Pakistan on Eid al-Adha. And now, the locals are actually saying that during the Diwali time, which is right around the corner, there might be some more provocations. This time might be from the Pakistani side. So it's a different story on Pakistan. But I would disagree on only one point with Gaurav, that Pakistan might be a minor irritant in the regional peace, but it is a very important role play as far as US's strategy in the region is concerned, because it is actually going to be used for exit route for US and foreign forces from Afghanistan, and that is where the regional stability and peace is actually being originating from. That is I think what is actually playing very important part. But the Nawaz Sharif government has domestically been very weak, and the Kashmir issue is the only hope he has. Army and Kashmir issue right now is the only lifeline he's actually carrying with himself. So he would not let it go, and I think that is why these provocations are continuing, and he will try to internationalize the issue as much as possible, because this is the only hope he has to stay in power.
Absolutely. What a huge embarrassment for the Nawaz regime after that snub from the United Nations. Thanks so much, Hamza, Gaurav and Smita, for bringing us up to date with the developments.